O'Neill, 2 L's. I serve the SGC under a General Hammond.
We're explorers. You see, we're from another planet.
The unstable vortex of a forming wormhole. Kawoosh.
Indeed.
And we're live in 3, 2. We're not live.
I'm keeping that.
No, I didn't even
Welcome
finish.
everybody to the Kawoosh podcast. As my wife just counted down. I am Arne and I am joined by
Evie. I can totally count. I didn't finish the count, but I can do it.
And we're back for another episode of Stargate SG1. And this must be the episode with the longest title yet.
Oh, really? You counted it?
I don't know, but it's very long. It's There But For the Grace of God.
And we saw the episode, and we don't know why the title is the title.
No.
But it's a good episode.
It is. It's a build-up episode, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and then we'll have the clip show episode next week. So we'll have to wait another week for the finale. But
Well, no, we can just go downstairs after this.
I know. And
watch.
we're also skipping ahead a little bit. Let's just get to the recap of the episode.
I'm an adult. You don't want to know what my first note is on here.
We'll get
to it.
Is it Kawoosh?
No, it's...
I can see Kawoosh.
No, Koroshni.
Oh.
Koroshnai. Sorry,
yeah,
I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, that's the
Okay, the second line. I'm not just.
Okay,
I'll tell you when we get
I'll just
there.
start with the recap. So the team comes through the gate in some.
What?
They do, yeah. A lot of episodes start with the team just coming through gate.
You're just talking nonsense.
Yeah, and this one is in a dark room. A strange.
You know they only have one gate, right? It's always the same gate.
I know.
Okay, cool.
It's very cool though.
Yeah,
and
how many gates do they have?
they have one that can go on location that doesn't spin. They have the one in the base that does spin, and I'm unsure if there is a third one because a lot of times was this one spinning as the episode opened?
No.
Then
It always goes whoosh, but you can do that with the computer.
I think they probably for all the location things they do the gate effect and then but they don't do the spinning.
Sometimes they try to do the spinning, but then you can just see rumble and dust falling and stuff. It doesn't really spin unless it's like a really cool close-up, and then you can probably assume it's the other gate.
Yeah, it's the other gate probably.
Yeah.
If they do a close-up, it's probably the other gate. But yeah, so they definitely had two. Okay. One lightweight to go on location and then one fixed in.
And it came with
base.
IKEA instructions, so they knew what to do with it.
I'm curious if it was in one piece or if it probably wasn't. Probably like 4 or 5 pieces that they could put together.
We should, those train tracks from Lego come to mind, like the bendy ones that you can stack on top of each other.
We should look that up. That's probably in one of the behind the scenes.
We keep saying we should look that up, and then we never look anything up. We should make a look-up episode where we look up everything that we said we were going to look up.
We'll do that at the end of the season.
We can call that our clip show episode.
Anyway, so they arrive in some sort of strange, cluttered room, and Teal'c recognizes that there is...
Goa'uld fire.
Yeah, so he remarks that there's Goa'uld weapon damage, but it's not recent. And Carter,
it's also not in the image. He just points somewhere.
Yeah, he points off screen like, there's damage. I'm like, where?
They forgot to put it in.
And Carter asks Daniel if he recognizes some of the writing, which he says it's definitely alien.
Which Daniel, rude. Like, you don't know every language written on the planet
If you can't
Earth.
read it's definitely alien.
It's definitely alien. You're a scientist. Definitely should not be in your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Vocabulary, that's not a word. That got away from me.
Yeah, and then Jack sees some kind of, I think it's some sort of mask. It looks like a mask, like some sort of face. It's a metal plate and looks like a face. It's unclear what it is, but Teal'c knows what it is, and he says it is the symbol of the Koroshnai, and it is a warning to all the Goa'uld to turn back.
No, first he says we must leave immediately.
Yeah.
And then he explains for 5 minutes why they should leave immediately.
Yeah, he explains it's left on the planets that have been completely destroyed and left contaminated. So he says like the surface of this planet is probably radiated. It's completely wasted. In another room on that planet, Carter and Jackson find some human artifacts. And they theorize it's probably brought back through the gate. Like, probably, Daniel, probably. O'Neill comes in and he tells them they need to go. But Jackson doesn't feel like it, so he stays behind to load up on artifacts. And you wrote down...
Did you see it?
I heard you saying it.
I mean, they're artifacts. They're artifacts. I'm pretty sure he touched the dildo. I mean, there was.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were like.
He's like, I'm taking this, which, fair. But they're artifacts and they're ancient, and one of them is very much shaped like, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. When they write the cards, like, probably a fertility, thingy.
Yeah.
It's always a dildo when they write that down. Always. Anyway, he
No,
took
you
it with
mentioned that it was like, Daniel, that's stealing.
Also, yeah, like Daniel, that's stealing. But he's an archaeologist, so he's already, it's not out of his way.
It was already stolen, so.
Like,
I don't know.
he's a grave robber. It's not out of his way. But also, Daniel, I'm sure it's fine challenge. Stop touching random things. Because that's where it goes
because that's
wrong.
what happens. He picks something up. It's like, it's a remote.
Yeah.
For some kind of mirror that's standing there. So he touches it and it lights up, and then he goes to the mirror.
Touches the mirror.
Yeah, and it doesn't reflect him, so he touches it.
Yeah.
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 Always a good idea to touch things. And there's a flash of light, and then he runs back to the gate to ask for help to move it because it's very heavy, and there is nobody
Hey
there.
guys, come help me steal this thing.
Exactly. Like guys, I found this really cool mirror. I want to bring it back to the base. It's gonna go really cool in my room. It's gonna brighten up the whole room. Anyway, there's nobody there, and he's like, "Oh, I hate it when this happens," which implies that it happened before.
You're just not like, Daniel, seriously, we're done waiting. Let's just go. He has a coat. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's probably like he does this all the time.
Like, if you're not going with us now, we're leaving without you, and then you actually have to follow through, because if you don't, they'll never learn.
Exactly, that's definitely what happened. So he dials back home and steps through the gate, and when he comes home in the SGC, he sees Hammond enter, and there's all these weapons pointed towards him.
Yes.
And Hammond is not in his general's uniform, and he doesn't recognize Jackson, so he asks him to identify himself, and he's apparently a colonel. Mm-hmm. And that's when we cut to credits.
Was that the entire call? Was that the old part?
So yeah, when we come back from the credits, Jackson gets dragged into the medical bay for an MRI, and he's yelling he's not a Goa'uld, and he wants to see Colonel O'Neill, and I think it's the soldier that's holding him. He goes like, "Don't you mean General O'Neill?" And
that soldier looks very young. I don't know why I noticed, but he looks like he's 18. Like they just picked someone fresh out of drama school.
A lot of soldiers are actually pretty young.
Yeah,
in the movies, they always portray them a little bit older, but they are mostly 18, 19-year-olds.
Also, the doctor is missing. Because he asks for the doctor first. And I'm not entirely sure. There's an older doctor there, and I'm not sure if it's the doctor that never got murdered in the alternate universe, or maybe I'm overthinking it.
That is actually a very good question. I will
make a note of it, and then we can do it for our clip show.
No, I will look it up on IMDb.
Right now, live?
Stargate SG-1. This is really good podcasting.
Well, no, because do you want me to do a waiting music, or are you just going to cut this out?
Depends. If you keep talking, I'm just going to keep it in. I'm almost there. But for the grace of God, the long title one. And then we'll go to the cast.
This is riveting stuff. You should keep
all of this. Yeah, it is riveting.
Yeah.
I am not immediately seeing the doctor.
It might just be because
he might be
uncredited.
Yeah, he might be uncredited. No, he's not in there.
Okay, cool. So I was wrong, which means you have to cut all of this out.
Okay. So later he wakes up in one of the cells with the door closed. So he starts banging on the door that he wants to speak to someone. And a soldier enters, followed by Catherine Langford.
Catherine! You did say she was going to be back.
She is. I think she has more than one reappearance, and she's intrigued that he knows her, and she wants to know how he entered through her Stargates. And she also wants to know how he got his hands on, one of the devices to let them know that the iris needs to be opened. So she's confused since he hasn't been in the base, according to her. And it was also, in this reality, it was her who translated the cartouche in Egypt. In fact, she asked for his help and he rudely dismissed her. Well,
by this point, we all know, the audience knows this is a parallel universe. What baffled me was, why doesn't Daniel realize what it is? He's a scientist. It took him a long time. And I realized that this is the 90s. While this was like a common trope, it still needed some explaining. So maybe they used him not knowing so Carter could explain it. Probably. But it still feels weird that sometimes he acts really, really dumb.
Well, if you say your show is in a reality and you haven't established this yet, parallel universes exist, then it is naturally that he's not gonna know about it, and it's gonna be like, what's going on? Are you all pranking me? Because he doesn't know he lives in a sci-fi show.
That is, well, to be fair, he steps through a circle of light on a regular basis. At a certain point in time, you know exactly what genre you live in.
Yeah, okay, true.
Anyway.
Yeah, he starts yelling about how it's all wrong and how he's supposed to be home with... Oh no, she's supposed to be home with Ernest. And he tells her that they rescued him from that planet he disappeared to, which rattles her. And she goes to the general's office. O'Neill and Hammond are there in some kind of meeting, and she tells them he might need to talk to Jackson. So O'Neill agrees, and he meets Jackson in the briefing room, and he wants to know what he can tell him about the Goa'uld. Tries to convince him that they work together as a team, and he wants to know where Teal'c is. Of course, he asks who is Teal'c, so he describes him, and he's like, a Jaffa, and he wants to throw him out again.
No, they say Jaffa. For some reason, they all say Jaffa, and it annoys me so much.
Maybe it is because they didn't meet him, so they don't have a lot of respect for it, so they mispronounce it in that universe.
Yeah, it could very well be true. Yeah, that's...
Or it's just another clue that over there. It's another way of speaking.
No, because later on, Teal'c does say Jaffa.
Ah, true. Well, then it must be that in this universe, they really, really hated the Jaffa, so they... probably just...
And mispronouncing something is like a very...
It's a form of disrespect. So yeah, the mention of a Jaffa makes O'Neill want to throw him out, but then Jackson starts talking about how he went to Abydos, so Jack went to Abydos and was ready to blow up the gate, and he was ready to commit suicide because of his kid, and all this stuff, of course, makes Jack perk up and take notice.
Still, though, if somebody came from another reality and told me, hey, remember your kid is dead, I would punch him on the nose. I mean,
you would have had to...
I realized I also wanted someone else to get punched in the last one, but so I should probably just tone it down.
Well, he is a general, so he needs to behave a little bit like a general. But after Jackson asks if they ever went to Chulak, the Jaffa homeworld, that's when Jack's interests are peaked, and he wants to know if he knows the gate address. At this point, Sam Carter enters.
And I wrote down, Sam, is that a wig?
Yeah, she has long hair in this one.
She has long hair.
Because that's how you know it's a parallel universe.
Yes, somebody's hair has to be different. In this case, two different.
It is also in this universe, it's very clear she's a civilian. And the short haircut was because she was in the military. They always kind of like toe the line a little bit with that one, because I think for true regulations it needs to be even shorter than what she has in the show, but they want to keep her a little bit feminine, so they kept it like in an acceptable length for the show.
Daniel's hair is longer than her. What are they even
on
about?
He's not in the military.
Yeah.
He's also a civilian.
Also slightly feminine.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. My next note is about Belgium, but we're not there yet.
So Sam enters, and she says they have lost Washington. And at that point, they take Jackson to some kind of world map. And there's a lot of red dots on there. And every red dot is a destroyed city.
And I kid you not, all of Belgium and the Netherlands and like the upper part of France is gone. And I was like, rude. Why is Belgium always gone in these scenarios?
Because it's very small.
Like they just bomb Brussels and everything poofs.
Yes.
Like
poof.
Which, fair, but also rude. We live here.
Yeah. So the Goa'uld have arrived a couple of days ago and they started attacking. And they also show a short news report about the devastation on the surface. Jackson is telling Catherine what happened on the last mission, how it touched the Nakoda mirror, and she's holding that remote and theorizes that it might be what activated the mirror. She immediately understands what's
Yeah.
going on. She actually repeats this a couple of times
Yeah.
and gets ignored
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, hey, maybe it's this. And they could just, nope. We're gonna do this other thing. And they're talking through it when they notice they are prepping a nuke to go through the gate in the gate room. So they walk up to the control room and Carter asks if they shouldn't be evacuating first, but O'Neill is dead fast on sending a nuke to Chulak. And Jackson objects. He tells them that Jaffa are a slave race, they are not at fault. And O'Neill orders to continue with the evacuation until the next nuke is ready. He just sends it through. He's ruthless in this episode, actually.
Well, they are under attack, but yeah, he is very ruthless. I also wrote down that I am never a fan of Genesis lists. Because they're all like, we're evacuating the brightest of the brightest. And that is, like, no matter how you turn it, that's eugenics.
Yeah.
And I am so tired of seeing that as a trope. Like, no, we're only gonna save, like, the top doctors and the scientists, like that.
And not even that.
Yeah.
It's like, you could say something for top doctors and scientists,
that's
but it's always also, and the powerful. Like, what are they gonna contribute?
Also, they never send an electrician through. So
Exactly.
they're doomed. Like, they're just doomed from the
Yeah, but
start.
scientists know everything.
They're gonna fight with each other and they're gonna die. Like, remember what happened on the last planets? With the 1,000 people? I bet you they were all scientists and that's why it went wrong. Like, stop just...
I think that's one of the good things in when they go through with Stargate Universe. It's like a chosen team and they start fighting almost immediately.
Yeah.
And they really get into trouble because they have military guys, they have some scientists, but they don't really have like they have a few civilians, but they...
But even then, you are selecting for, like, a team effort. This is basically choosing who gets to live. And
that's always a problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, he also tells Jackson that he doesn't want to see him again until he has something useful to say. So Jackson wants to know if it was possible if the wormhole jumped to another gate, like a parallel Earth. And Carter says that is not how the Stargate works. So she kind of quickly explains the parallel Earth or the many-Earth theory, so that at least the public can, the viewers can catch up with that.
I was wondering, was this before or after Sliders?
Isn't Sliders also somewhere in the 90s?
Yeah, but somewhere in the 90s, it was a big 90s.
Yeah, 10 years. But I think it's just like you're not always sure that all people that watch your show gonna know these things. So she does a brief explanation of the theory behind it. Anyway, but that's not how the gate works. And then Catherine comes back to the fact that maybe it started to happen after you touched the mirror. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And at that point, an alarm sounds for an off-world activation, which distracts just everybody immediately. So Daniel sneaks up to a computer and looks himself up, but there's no known residence.
I have issues with Daniel in this episode. I know I have a lot of issues with Daniel in many episodes, but he's being very selfish. He's like, oh no, I'm dead. Like, a lot of people are dead here, Daniel. Like, you're not that special.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He just wants to know where he is and why he's not there, and then he just, with the results that he finds, he goes like, oh, he concludes, I must be dead. It's not about him trying to find out if he still lives or not. He just wants to know what happened.
Maybe...
Or at least that's how I saw it.
Okay, well, the thing is, later on, he's like, it's too late for your world, but you can still save my world. I'm like, that was weird.
Yeah.
Like...
I had some issues with that whole thing. Yeah, some. But we're not there yet.
No.
Almost there. So yeah, he thinks he might be dead in this reality. And at that point, they get a call from Air Force One. It's being attacked by enemy or an-enemy craft, while on the line, it goes down.
And it's very easy to show without having to show the jet. It's just a blip on the screen and then the panicked radio call, and it works.
It's really cool because they keep the action in the base the whole time, which is really, really smart, and really it does build up some kind of tension. So yeah, the craft keeps coming towards the base, and they also keep the gate open. So as long as they keep the gate open and start attacking, they are vulnerable.
The Goa'uld dialed in.
Yeah, the Goa'uld basically died in. They closed the iris, but of course, there's only so much they can do. But they cut off the escape route. That's actually what they were trying to do. So they trapped them inside the mountain. And on the monitor, we see an outside shot of the base, and we see the ship arriving over the mountain. And then everybody's going, oh no, they're gonna fire. And then Daniel says, nope, they're gonna land. And they do. Then there's an emergency briefing in the room. Outside, the Jaffa are amassing, and the gate is being kept open by the off-world activation. Carter says they have about a half an hour before the gate should deactivate on its own, and then they can get away. So they start sealing off the base. O'Neill goes up and blows, because there's two elevators, and they have to, if you go down to the base, you have to swap halfway between elevators. So he blows up the one that goes through the surface. And then downstairs, Catherine, Carter, and Jackson are going through some of the documentation. They have found, because I was typing, I didn't get everything, but apparently they have a transmission from the planet where the mirror's from.
Yeah, because they got attacked by the Goa'uld first.
Yeah.
And they tried to send out a warning. And part of the warning was the address where the attackers were coming from.
I got all that, but was it just a general warning, or did they contact Earth?
No, it was a general, Mayday thing that they sent out in the ether.
So and they sent a message, and then there was something that they couldn't translate, and then Daniel recognizes it because it's Egyptian, and he learned to speak it phonetically when he was on Abydos. So he's like, oh, you didn't go to Abydos, so you didn't know or learn the correct pronunciation of these Egyptian words, and he translates it.
Which is actually a valid point, because a lot of languages can be read but no longer understood. So that is actually
one of the really smart things that they do in the movie. Like, he can read it, but he can't speak it, so he needs to learn the correct vowels and sounds of the language. So anyway, the message goes, beware the destroyers, and then there's some numbers, which he immediately goes, it's a gate address, and it's one without the point of origin. And at that point, the gate shuts off, and they immediately start dialing the alpha site, but they are not quick enough.
That's because it's a rotary phone.
Yeah, it's so slow. Like, the off-world gates are always so much faster. But I think it's kind of cool that the computer system we use is so jury-rigged that it's really slow and it's not efficient.
Yeah.
The Jaffa also start attacking the base, and fire is being exchanged in the hallways of the base.
We finally see Teal'c?
No, that's actually after this.
Did Christopher Judge get to take a really long nap? Because he's almost not in this one.
He's barely in this one, yeah. He does make a good presence when he's there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I missed him.
So they start dialing the gate, but it activates before they get to the last chevron. They will have to be faster next time, and they say, okay, we have a window of 38 minutes.
And that's going to be the last shot at getting out.
Yeah, and the Jaffa are closing in, and O'Neill has to fall back as the commander of the enemy forces enters the base. Cue Teal'c.
And I wrote down, look at his hair. They gave him the bestest hair.
Yeah, it's like a big ponytail.
Yeah, and I really wonder if, like, Christopher Judge saw, what they did with, oh crap, I forgot her name.
With Carter.
Amanda Tapping?
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, I too would like some hair, please. Like, that's how that's how it is in my hair. In my head.
Yeah, they couldn't really go for the evil goatee, so they went for the top bun.
But they all have slight differences, because Jack has this really cool scar, in his.
The normal Jack also has a scar.
Yeah, but this one is all extra angry. The normal Jack. Jack isn't normal.
No, but he does. He has a scar in one of his eyebrows, and I think it's something that happens in the show, and then he kept it. He could have just forgotten about it, but every episode he had somebody shave the scar into his eyebrow. Yeah, that's dedication.
It's not dedication if somebody else has to do the work.
Well, they do have a makeup team for
Seriously?
some reason. Anyway, downstairs, Jackson is trying to figure out the point of origin. And so they're trying to find out the Goa'uld planet where the attack originated. And O'Neill wants to bomb it.
And I...
Because that's his solution to everything in this episode.
I know, he's very American. What I was... Well, of course, it's a show and you need clues and you need things to work. But Daniel's like, I have it on tape. And I'm like, dude, if I take my tape to the United States, I can't play my tape. But you go to an alternate universe and you can play your tape. I call bullshit on that, sir. But, you know.
Yeah, but it's only slightly parallel.
I know, but still, like, we have DVD regions.
I know. Yeah, you have a
But,
very valid
you know,
point.
We need to be able to play the tape because then we can have these characters look at themselves, but in a different universe.
Yeah. So yeah, Jackson shows the tape, and on the monitor they can see Carter, O'Neill walking around. It's the team, it's SG-1, and they even have Teal'c on it. And the others are like mesmerized, looking at their parallel selves. And Jackson wants the gate address of the attacking planet, and he wants to take it to his own reality because there the attack hasn't happened yet, and he wants to save his reality.
He's basically going, it's too late for your world, but it might not be too late for my world. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, and O'Neill logically isn't really happy about it
No.
because it's like his chance to maybe bomb the enemy and win.
Or get more people out.
Exactly.
You know?
And then Jackson says that his O'Neill would do it.
No, he wouldn't.
I was like, really? Are you sure
No,
about
he
that?
wouldn't.
Roll your persuasion.
I love that sometimes we're looking at these shows and you're like, oh, you botched your spot in, did you? But yeah.
Yeah, but there isn't really enough time because the 38 minutes is gonna take too long, and then Jackson says that he wants to buy time, and then they will go like, who or why or how are you gonna do this? And they show a shot of Teal'c moving through the base, so they want to try to connect to him.
Which might have been easier if they hadn't thrown a bomb on his family.
Yeah, but they don't know that yet.
Well, Daniel knows. Daniel should have
he should have known because he's like, oh, O'Neill, you should go to him and talk to him because there's good in him and you're the one who's gonna talk it out of him. And
remember when you connected on Shulak?
Yeah.
Which you just bombed for his wife and his son. You know what? And on second thought, but yeah.
Anyway, Catherine mentions that the videotape of them working together might be enough to change Teal'c, or at least get Teal'c's attention.
I mean,
so they hand it to Jackson.
It works in slowing him down.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, and they hand it to O'Neill, who says this might be the point where they wish him good luck. And Carter goes up to him and they hug. And then Catherine says, I take it they're not engaged in your reality.
Which, I mean, if we're engaged and you're going off to your doom, like, I would give you a kiss.
I don't know, the awkwardness and like the professionalism.
We can't kiss goodbye. Our work people are watching us. I don't know.
I got that's the vibe I got anyway.
Okay. Like goodbye. Oh, just hug. Like, dude, you're such.
It's also a little bit they wanted that reveal.
Yeah.
In the line and not in the action.
Okay. Cool. I get that. Still.
And I think it works. Although you could just let them kiss and then not say they're engaged, because the fact that they kiss is also shock value enough to get our attention. Or if they didn't want to
kiss, like kiss. Just have to do it behind the corner, you know, like have her run after. I don't know. It felt weird.
It's maybe it's a little bit forced, but it I don't know. It was a funny beat.
I mean, yeah. But then this entire episode is kind of like a fanfic.
Yeah, but all the parallel universe episodes are like that, or the time loop ones, and they in every time it's not the real reality or something is going on, they will get them together, which is kind of a fun trope.
Yeah.
So we cut to Hammond briefing the soldiers because they are going to make a final stand to keep the Jaffa away from the Stargate. And O'Neill steps out into the hallway to confront Teal'c, and he's unarmed. And the fact that he knows Teal'c's name catches his attention. So Hammond meanwhile, he wants them to set the self-destruct of the base 2 minutes after when they can dial out, because he wants to destroy it completely every chance that they can get after them. And Teal'c, meanwhile, in the hallway, wants to know what deception is this? They show him the tape and he just doesn't understand.
Where's my hair?
Yeah, and then O'Neill tries to tell him about the other Teal'c in the other reality, and that he doesn't want to be a slave, and that in the other reality Teal'c is a good man trying to save his people, his wife, and his son.
Oh God!
Which triggers Teal'c immediately.
Yeah, that was
since
funny.
he just got word that Earth sent a bomb through and just destroyed his world, his family, his wife, and his son.
At which point you can just see Jack's face going like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. At that point, you can see like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And Teal'c steps up to this big ass cannon and he blasts Jack out of the way. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, understandable. Catherine sends Carter and Jackson to the gate room because they need to get to the Alpha site, and then from there they will get away. And Carter runs off to get the remote, and then Catherine says since he helped Ernest in his reality to reunite, then they should be more or less even here. Weird sentiment.
Weird.
Like, yeah, it's like,
you saved me in another universe, which he doesn't even know is true. You know, he might be making stuff up.
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the whole "my universe is more important than your universe" just because mine is the real one. I
know, because we get this like montage where every major character that is not Jackson, they get killed in this one.
Which they all go out very ballsy though.
Yeah,
they
true.
all go out because Carter like basically just pretends she's innocent and she wants to like tell people like I will help you and I know important things and also I have 2 grenades, which is the perfect way to go.
Yeah, in the hallway there's heavy fighting and you even have Harriman there partaking.
Like
yeah, but,
it's not a club.
But he runs away. And he leaves Hammond, and Hammond gets shot.
Oh.
And only afterwards I went like, oh. So, but he was like, well, he is a civilian, so maybe it's logical that he would be the one to run away from danger. But yeah, anyway. Then, like you said, Carter is being surrounded by Jaffa, and she tries to convince them that she will surrender and she will help them. And then she blows herself and the Jaffa up. I was a little bit confused. She was going to get the remote. How did that get back to Jackson?
I think I was confused too because like, don't shoot, here! And then he puts it on the table and then everything gets blown up and I'm like, didn't you need that? Were there 2?
Okay, so I'm not the only one that was confused.
I also was very confused.
So yeah, as far as we know, he didn't get the remote, but he did get away. Anyway, the gate is clear and they immediately start dialing, and the last thing that Jackson sees before the shield for the control room closes is that Catherine is being surrounded by Jaffa. All the while, the autodestruct is counting down as the gate is dialing. It connects and Daniel jumps through. At that point, Teal'c enters the gate room and shoots him. Daniel goes through the gate, gets out on the other end, and we see Teal'c when the countdown reaches 0, and boom. Well, we don't see the boom because they didn't have the budget for that, but it's implied.
But it was very well implied.
It was
really well done.
edited.
Yeah.
Like this
because
whole countdown
you can see him
thing.
like turning, like realizing that, this is it. He's done for.
So, the gate deactivates behind.
Is this because I bought you dates today?
Yes, you bought me dates, so I'm all confused now. The gate deactivates behind Jackson, and he rushes back to the mirror, and he falls through on the other side in the Prime Universe or whatever we're supposed to call it.
Again, that's not.
Yeah, the others are looking for him, and they rush towards him when he cries for help, and they find him on the floor with a burn mark on his shoulder and a Stargate address in his pocket. And he just wakes up, his eyes open, and warns them that they are coming. And then it ends.
Yeah. Which is basically the first time we actually have like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I also like that Teal'c is the one who said, "That looks to be like you did it, dude," but you don't know that you did it. But yeah.
So yeah, this was a major cliffhanger. So imagine that you have to sit through a clip show episode before you get to the resolution of this one, and then even that is a cliffhanger because that will be the last episode of the season.
You really don't like clip shows, do you?
I'm actually looking forward to seeing it because there's a really good bad guy in this one. They introduce a politician. It's the same actor as the bad guy in the first RoboCop movie, and I'm gonna.
This is my confused face.
Yeah, your confused face. I will look it up because
every time you're like, you know this actor. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
know that.
You do know this actor. Like, come on. Yes, because I know. Like here, it's right here.
Okay, he sort of rings a bell.
Oh, come on. You don't recognize him. This is Ronnie...
We have had this discussion before.
Ronnie Cox, and he plays Senator Robert Kinsey, also a returning character for almost the whole series, and he always plays this type of bad guy, but he's really good at it.
Yeah, you know, the older the white man gets, the less... It just becomes this one big blob in my head. They all look alike.
But it is interesting because they will have to convince him that the threat is real, and that will lead to the final episode. So the clip show does have a function. They're going to go over all the missions they did and trying to prove
How dare
that...
you? Every clip show has a function. There's always
cost
a line.
saving.
Yes, but there's always a red
The good ones have a through line, yeah.
A through line. That's what I said. I said it first. Yes, that's what we're going with. But yeah, it wasn't, as far as parallel universe episodes go, it wasn't bad.
It's
It
a
had
whole
its
lot of
issues,
setup, and
but-
that's the main issue. It's a whole lot of setup for what's going to come. But they do have some fun things they do with the characters, like Sam being a civilian, Teal'c with the ponytail, and it's also fun to see him as a real threat.
Yeah, he looks really, really serious.
Yeah, he really, like his face when he needs to play the bad guy is so serious.
So very serious.
So yeah, those are the fun things about the episode, and this will establish that it is possible to go to parallel universes, which of course they're gonna do not that much,
No.
but they will do sometimes. Once in a while, they will do the thing with the parallel universe.
I'm pretty sure Teal'c in one of them has a goatee.
No, he has a goatee for like half a season.
Doesn't he? I thought that was a very weird
Oh!
ring thingy.
That might be. He does have
It was bleached. Am I remembering it wrong?
That's the bleached goatee, like the
Yeah.
line on his chin. That's for like most of the half of a season or something.
What?
They do.
Did he
they
lose
do
a
s-
bet?
They do some kind of time skip, and that's the way they establish that it's been a while.
Okay.
And then he keeps it for
I remember
a
that's
number of
late.
episodes.
That's like really late.
no,
though.
no. It could be season 2 or 3 already. They
I
were
remember
trying shit out. It didn't
I
work.
remember it. Let's just wrap this up because it's been a while. I mean, we've been at it a while. I know how to English.
Oh, it's only 40 minutes. I can see the timer.
I know, me too. All right.
Yeah, so we're almost to the end.
You keep saying that.
Yeah, 2 more episodes for this
Two more
season.
episodes, and then we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And 2 movies.
We're doing the movies?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
How about
see.
Stargate Atlantis? 1, 2, 3, 4,
5
5.
seasons.
I know you're gonna be upset with me, but I never really liked Stargate Universe.
It's the lesser of the 3.
It has a really bad... Well, it has
No,
a character
Robert
that I don't
Carlyle
like.
is a really good actor, but
He's a good actor,
but
I don't like his character.
he's detestable. That character
He is, yeah, but he's too detestable.
yeah.
Like, you can be detestable, but still be fun to watch. And I'm not saying it's him, but he was not fun to watch.
No, they tried a different approach. They tried to make it because SG-1 and Atlantis are more lighthearted. They have a lot of humor, and they tried something different. They wanted to make it more serious. They did the handheld thing, and it's too serious because we know Stargate, and we expect a little fun.
A tiny bit silly, yeah.
Yeah, and they completely, and I get it. It's a starship in another galaxy. They're lost.
Again, though,
It's a serious situation, but
you don't. I mean, Voyager has done it already.
yeah, but Voyager could have been improved at some points, and
I mean, true. Like
they could have been maybe taken it a little bit more seriously, that they were gonna run out of food instead of just ignoring it, but I get it. I get
understand. Every anomaly they came across, they had to check.
Because it's a science vessel, I know. But we're digressing. Where can people find you on the internet?
I don't know why I blanked, because I am on the same spaces as always. I'm on Blue Sky as Evie Belknap. I'm on Instagram as Evie Belknap, and I am on TikTok as
Evie Belknap.
Yeah, you're never gonna guess, but yeah.
And you can find me on Instagram as Arne Köstermans, and on YouTube and on Blue Sky as Iradonian. And yeah, we'll see you next week for Politics, the clip show episode.
Politics, the clip show.
Politics, the clip show.
Politics, the clip show. Wow. Can't wait.
I'm really curious how it's gonna hold up. I might actually love it more than I used to in when the clip show episodes came up. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, next week. Bye.